Hi everyone, I'm Ananya Mukherjee, an author, a storyteller, and a corporate communications leader based in Singapore from the LEAD Galvanizer cohort. I'm delighted to be here today. To start with, please accept my apologies for not being able to do this in person. I've just had a surgery and have been advised not to travel until I recover fully. I'm hoping you will forgive me for this and will listen and find my story just as engaging nonetheless. Until the age of 6, I lived with my parents in various small towns in remote India. Some of these places did not have schools, and what that meant was that I was left with little option to be formally educated. When I turned 6, my dad took up a new job in a mid-sized suburban town in Odisha in eastern India. There was only one English medium school in that little town. My parents were naturally very impatient about my education, so they approached Mr. Roy, the principal of Sunshine Public School, to see if I could be accommodated. I obviously could not take a test because I really knew nothing except what I was taught at home. After much pleading, the kind-hearted Mr. Roy agreed to take me in his school despite no seats, and I was allowed to just sit in class. I had to prove myself in 3 months before the school would officially admit me. So I was directly admitted to upper kindergarten in the last 3 months of the academic calendar, and when I joined school, we were already on chapter 23 of the Radiant Reader. To top it all, I was not a registered student. I still remember how it made me cringe every time the teacher did a roll call in class. I was an outsider, a non-entity in the upper kindergarten class. In short, I was the invisible newcomer, the extra chair in class. For some reason, it hurt my little pride a bit. That was, of course, one of the many small challenges I had as a 6-year-old. The medium of instruction was English, and children weren't allowed to speak in any other language at the school, not in class nor in the playground. Now, I didn't speak English. I had never had a chance to learn the language. So I withdrew into a shell because I couldn't just speak to anyone. I couldn't communicate or socialize. I had no friends, and school was a space I did not enjoy at all. The school was some 20 miles from home, and every morning when the pickup jeep came, I would pretend I was just dead because I hated everything about that school. What a terrible thing for a child to go through. Now, even as I struggled to read a line in English, grappled with forming sentences, I was tasked to write question and answers from Late Kate and Simple Simon. That I scored a 4 out of 25 in the first unit test was no surprise. My mother had tears in her eyes when the form teacher told her how terrible I was. My father was furious, and I remember him throwing away the horrid homework book with red cross marks all over. Only I did not know what was wrong. All I remember from that moment is a little helpless girl running out of the house to the backyard, ashamed, lost, wondering, what is happening? Where am I failing? Also, I clearly remember a day I felt sick and could not report it because I couldn't communicate in English. I was so helpless. I suffered in silence and cried till someone came to help me. It was a life-changing moment for a 6-year-old. I had never felt so inadequate before. But even as a child, I made a promise to myself that I would equip myself with what I lack today so that I can always be battle ready, and I'll learn what it takes to get there, no matter how tough the challenge is, I told myself. Now I started reading English wherever I could find it. Newspapers, billboards, books, grocery paper bags, and tried to make sense of every word and sentence I read. I literally devoured every word with the hunger of a famished child. That December, I fell ill And I remember I answered my annual exams with a very high temperature. My dad draped me in a thick red coat and drove me in his Jeep to the school. I also remember he sat there as I took my test. Now, by some fluke of destiny, when the results were out, I had not only beaten my own records, I had beaten everyone else in class and picked up a second rank. My mum, as emotional as all mums are, ended up crying again when she came to collect my report book. The school principal, remember Mr. Roy, as generous as only he could be, announced a special award for the student who was not registered. I received my first book, Cinderella, as a special prize from him in the school assembly. I never scored a second rank again in Sunshine Public School and topped the class in all subsequent years in English, no matter where I studied thereafter. Now, why am I telling you all this? My journey from that 6-year-old to leading narrative and content for one of the largest privately held companies in the world, being a published author of short stories in English, getting recognized as one of the top 3 Indian authors in 2022 is an outcome of that single promise. Equip yourself. Step up and turn your biggest challenge into your greatest opportunity. Never miss a chance to learn a new skill, take a new course, enroll in a training, and become an upgraded version of yourself. Most importantly, never give up on yourself. And that's my message to you today. Always, always be battle ready. You never know when a challenge will be thrown at you, and you could turn that challenge into an opportunity. Thank you for listening to me.